I have the cover reveal for Death on Heels. Hello and welcome back to my writing journey. I'm Ellen Byerrum and I am the author of the Crime of Fashion series, as well as some plays, some books, and short stories. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, imagine how important the cover of your book is. Now, it's one thing to get your cover from a big traditional publisher where you don't have much or any say in the matter. You get your book with its cover and you are expected to be delighted beyond all belief. However, if you have a problem with it, you might be able to talk about it with your editor and you might get a tweak, but not always. But I have known authors who are not necessarily happy with their book covers. There may be a dog in the book, but the dog on the cover doesn't match the dog in the book. It might be a Doberman where it was a little miniature poodle in the book. That's kind of weird. I also had a book once I was reading. It was a friend of mine who wrote the book. It was a very good book, but it had a very strange cover on it. It looked like the Symbionese Liberation Army had written a cozy. And this book cover was so ugly, don't tell her I said that, it was so ugly that it had the power to repel men. I was on the subway reading it, and a young man looked at me, and he looked at the cover, and he backed away. He probably reported me to the FBI. But when you are doing your own book, republishing your own book, imagine how important that feels. And I am republishing Death on Heels, which is the 8th book in the series, and here is the new cover of the book. It may be up, the book link may be up by the time this video shows. If it is, I will put a link in the comments below. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe and hit it with a like. I want to say a little bit about this book because it has been a while since it's been in print. This book takes Lacey Smithsonian out of her comfort zone and sends her back to Sagebrush, Colorado, where she earned her reporter's spurs. I will read just a few paragraphs of the opening so you get a feeling for it, and keep the cover in mind. Dying with your boots on is a point of pride in the West Vic. But these women died barefoot, Lacey said, and that grieves me. Digging around the bottom of her small closet, she hunted for her cowboy boots. Lacey wasn't going to be caught unawares and unshod, not like those 3 women. Colorado rancher Cole Tucker had been arrested for murder, so fashion reporter Lacey Smithsonian was heading back to the last place on earth she swore she'd ever return, Sagebrush. That meant she would need, among other things, her best, dandified, make-a-statement cowboy boots, and more than a little guts. Lacey was afraid she was really going to stick her foot in it this time. She needed the most fearsome footwear she owned to wade through all the mud, and the mud-slinging. Tucker can't be a killer, she kept saying to herself. I loved him. That cowboy wanted to marry me. So Death on Heels. This book has been re-edited for quite a while. The problem was we had real trouble finding the right image for the book. Believe me, some of my books are much easier to find a cover for than others, and Bob and I have several objectives that we want our covers to include. One thing is it has to include the themes of the book. It has to be eye-catching. It has to use a photo instead of a cartoony illustration. It should suggest a sense of danger as well as fashion and style, and it should fit in with the signature style of the other book covers. In addition, the cover cannot be too cluttered, and it must be visible in a thumbnail on the internet. You would think it would be easy, and yet it isn't always, and there will be some tweaks before the final is made. After this, I have only one more book in the series that I need to reissue after getting my rights back from the publisher. That would be book number 9, Veiled Revenge, the 9th Crime of Fashion Mystery, and it will bring the whole series up to date in trade paperback and ebook release. And yes, I am the slowest republisher on the face of the earth. Sorry. Now, many people have been asking me whether Lacey Smithsonian will be back in another adventure. My hope is to write at least one more book in this series, and I have some pages, some notes, and a working title: White Lace and Homicide. I know many of you are waiting for Felicity Pickles, the food editor, to marry Harlan Wiedemeyer, the death and dismemberment reporter. That's a lot of pressure to keep all the characters up in the air, then keep them in motion, the plot simmering along, and comic moments popping up. And so many questions you've been asking me. What will the bride wear? Will Lacey be a bridesmaid? Will it be awful? Will Felicity make her own cake? Will Harlan, the office jinx it all? And because it's a murder mystery, who's going to get bumped off in time for the nuptials? The answer is, I'm not sure at this point in time. I don't want to disappoint you, and I don't want to disappoint myself. Just stay tuned. On the other hand, soon I hope to be back to discuss the amazing cover for my new book, Crook Tales for Two, which is in process right now. I will talk about my inspiration, the feeling I want the cover to invoke, and the talent and artist I found. I am so excited, but I have to keep it to myself for now, just a little bit longer. That's all I have for today, but I'll be back again next week. See you later. Bye.